The Galactic Combat Championship's emergency medical teams were on standby because the human female had just threatened the reigning champion, and 3 security chiefs were arguing about whether they needed to evacuate the arena or prepare body bags. Charlotte Brown stood in the center of the Kronos arena, mop still in hand, maintenance uniform splattered with cleaning solution, staring up at Zelax the Unbreakable, 7 feet of scaled muscle, titanium-reinforced exoskeleton, and undefeated champion of 43 systems. The crowd of 50,000 aliens roared with laughter as Zelax poked her shoulder again. I said, Charlotte's voice cut through the noise with unnatural clarity, "Touch me once more, and you'll regret it." Zelax's team howled with amusement. His 3 sparring partners, each a champion in their own right, slapped their knees, mandibles clicking in alien laughter. In the VIP booth, Arena Authority Director Kyle Thus slammed his communication panel. "Get me high command, now." According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. "Sir, it's just a maintenance worker, and that maintenance worker is human," Kyle Toss hissed, his scales rippling with tension. "Do you understand what that means? This is being broadcast across 200 systems." On the arena floor, Zelax circled Charlotte, playing to the crowd. "Little human thinks she can threaten me? In my arena?" He reached out, condescending, to pat her head. 3, Charlotte said flatly. His clawed hand tapped her skull. "That's 3 times now," she continued, still not moving. "I'm trying really hard to be professional here, but you're making this difficult." The crowd's laughter intensified. Betting pools formed instantly. How long would the human last? Medical teams positioned themselves at arena entrances, trauma units on standby for what everyone assumed would be inevitable human casualties. Zelax leaned down, his breath hot against Charlotte's face. "What are you going to do, little janitor? Clean me to death?" "I'm going to finish my shift," Charlotte said, her Midwest accent cutting through his bravado. "I've got 6 more locker rooms to sanitize and you're in my way, so here's how this works. You move, I clean. Everyone goes home happy. Or what?" Zelax poked her shoulder again, the 4th time. "Or that," Charlotte said with a sigh. What happened next would be debated by sports analysts, military strategists, and physicists for the next decade. Zelax stumbled backward. The Unbreakable, the champion who'd withstood plasma cannons and gravitational crushers. He stumbled. The crowd's laughter died. "Replay that," Kale Thas ordered, his voice strangled. "Full sensor sweep. What just hit him?" The technical crew scrambled. "Sir, nothing hit him. She didn't move." "She must have moved. Champions don't just—" Zelax roared, embarrassment flooding his features. His 3 teammates vaulted into the arena, charging the human who dared to humiliate their leader. Charlotte set down her mop, carefully, making sure it wouldn't fall over. 2.7 seconds later, all 3 teammates were on the ground. Charlotte picked up her mop. "I really did warn him." Kael'thas hit the emergency broadcast button. "This is Arena Authority Director Kael'thas to Galactic Sports Commission. We have a Code Apex situation. I repeat, Code Apex. The human has engaged." Across the arena, emergency sirens began to wail. "Run the replay," Vexia, Chief Medical Examiner, demanded, her tentacles flying across holographic controls. "Frame by frame, I need to see what weapon she's using." The massive screens above the arena flickered, showing the moment again and again. Charlotte's hand moved, or seemed to move, but the sensors registered only blurs, impossibilities, motion that shouldn't exist. "There's no weapon," the technician stammered. She's just using her hands." "That's not possible," Vexia insisted. "Scan her for energy signatures, neural enhancers, gravitational manipulators, all scans negative, Chief. She's baseline, completely unaugmented." On the arena floor, Zelax had regained his footing, his pride wounded more than his body. "You dare!" He charged, his combat training taking over, his exoskeleton amplifying his strength to levels that could crush starship hulls. Charlotte stepped to the side, not quickly, not with any apparent urgency, just stepped. Zilak sailed past her, momentum carrying him into the arena wall hard enough to crack the reinforced polymer. "Okay, that's just embarrassing," Charlotte muttered. "For both of us." The crowd had stopped laughing. 50,000 aliens sat in stunned silence, watching their champion struggle against a human in a maintenance uniform. Jotaro, the military combat analyst assigned to evaluate arena fighters, ran probability algorithms through his neural implant. Every calculation showed the same result: human defeat in 0.3 seconds. Yet the human stood unharmed, looking more annoyed than threatened. "The algorithms are malfunctioning," Jotaro announced to no one in particular. "They must be. This violates every combat principle we know." Zilax's backup team entered the arena, 12 elite fighters, champions who'd conquered worlds, whose names were whispered with fear across the galaxy. Charlotte groaned. "Seriously? I just wanted to clean the locker rooms. I've got protein shake residue that's been fossilizing for 3 weeks down there." The 12 fighters spread out, using professional encirclement tactics, cutting off escape routes, coordinating through neural links. Charlotte cracked her neck. "Fine. But I'm charging overtime for this." What followed looked almost choreographed. The fighters moved in perfect synchronization, attacking from all angles with lethal precision. 4 minutes and 18 seconds later, 12 elite fighters lay groaning on the arena floor. Charlotte hadn't broken a sweat. Her uniform wasn't even wrinkled. "How?" Keltas whispered, watching from his booth. "How is this possible?" Ginix, head of security, was already moving. "Evacuate the arena. Now. This is no longer a sporting event. This is a containment scenario." The crowd needed no encouragement. The stampede began immediately, 50,000 aliens suddenly realizing they were trapped in an enclosed space with a human. Charlotte walked toward the exit, her mop still in hand. The arena's defensive shields activated automatically, designed to contain threats. She walked through them. The shields sparked, crackled, and died. Did she just... Ginix couldn't finish the sentence. "Override military-grade containment fields by walking through them," Vexia confirmed, her voice hollow. Yes, she did." Charlotte stopped at the exit, turning back to the security team. "Am I allowed to leave? I've still got 5 hours left on my shift, and I need to clock out properly. HR gets weird about overtime authorization." Ginix opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. No sound emerged. "I'll take that as a maybe," Charlotte said. "Look, I'll just wait over here while you figure things out, but can someone grab my cleaning cart from Section 7? I left it by the..." Keltas finally found his voice. "Get me every file we have on humans, every single one." "This can't be right," Keltas muttered, scrolling through the human database files that High Command had just transmitted. Files marked with 17 different warning labels, each more urgent than the last. Critical warning: do not engage humans in physical confrontation. Advisory: human play fighting has resulted in structural damage to military installations. Notice: what humans consider minor disagreements may require medical evacuation teams. Why weren't these in the standard briefings? Kael'thas demanded. Sir, Command assumed they were exaggerations. Propaganda. No species could actually... Well, they're not exaggerations. Kael'thas gestured at the arena floor, where medical teams were carefully extracting injured fighters. We have 15 elite combatants in medical crisis because we ignored the warnings. Vexia appeared on his communication screen, her expression grave. Director, I've completed the biological scans of the human. And? Her bone density is 3 times what our models predicted. Her muscle response time operates at speeds our sensors register as technological enhancement, except she has no enhancements. Her neurological processing speed... Vexia paused. Director, the human was perceiving the combat in what she would consider slow motion. To her, our elite fighters were moving like children. Kael'thas felt his scales go cold. How is that possible? Earth, Vexia said simply. Gravity 3 times galactic standard. Atmospheric pressure that would crush most species. Predators that hunted humans for millions of years. They evolved on a death world, Director. What we consider extreme survival conditions, they call Tuesday. On the arena floor, Charlotte had found a bench and was checking her phone, completely unconcerned with the chaos around her. Lirana, the station's chief xenobiologist, rushed into Kael'thas's booth. I've reviewed her medical intake forms from when she applied for the work visa. Director, she listed her exercise routine as recreational. So, she runs 26 miles at a time. For fun, she lifts weights equivalent to small spacecraft components. She does this after her work shifts. Lirana's voice cracked. What humans consider staying in shape would qualify as military-grade physical conditioning for any other species. Kael'thas looked at Charlotte, sitting peacefully on her bench. What was her threat assessment rating when she applied for the visa? Minimal, sir. She's a janitor. Cleaning certification, background in hospitality services, references from 3 previous employers, all glowing reviews about her work ethic and pleasant demeanor. Pleasant demeanor, Kael'thas repeated weakly. She just hospitalized 15 professional fighters. Sir, Ginix interrupted, the structural engineers have completed their assessment of the arena wall where Zilax impacted. And? The human's tap on his shoulder generated enough force to crack his exoskeleton in 17 places. The manufacturers said that armor could withstand direct artillery strikes. Kael'thas pulled up the replay again, watching Charlotte's movement. She was holding back. What? Look at her stance, her breathing. She wasn't fighting. She was trying not to hurt them. Kael'thas zoomed in on Charlotte's face during the combat. Annoyance, frustration, no aggression, no combat focus. She was genuinely trying to restrain herself. Vexia's voice came through the communicator. Director, if she had actually tried to hurt them, no one wanted to complete that thought. Charlotte stood up from her bench, stretching. She walked to a nearby arena support pillar and tapped it gently with one finger, demonstrating something to a nearby journalist who'd been brave, or stupid, enough to approach her. Hairline cracks spread across the pillar's surface. She's showing off? Ginix asked, horrified. No, Lirana whispered. She's explaining. She's trying to help us understand. Charlotte shrugged at the journalist, said something that made him back away slowly, and returned to her bench. Get me the Galactic Council, Kael'thas said. We need to reclassify humans. Immediately. The Emergency Council convened within the hour, broadcast to the remaining spectators and 17 billion viewers across the galaxy who'd tuned in when news of the incident spread. Kael'thas stood before the holographic assembly. Council members, we need to discuss immediate reclassification protocols for humans. Council member Ziran, a Veltraxian admiral, scoffed. Because one janitor defeated some arena fighters? This seems excessive. With respect, Admiral, she didn't defeat them, she barely acknowledged them. What we witnessed wasn't combat, it was pest control, the council murmured uneasily. Furthermore, Kael'thas continued, our xenobiology teams have confirmed that humans evolved on a Class 12 death world. Earth's gravity is 3 times our standard. Their atmospheric pressure would be lethal to 60% of galactic species. They have predators, natural predators, that can bite through steel. Impossible, another council member interjected. Would you like to tell the human she's impossible? Kael'thas gestured to the screen showing Charlotte, still waiting patiently on her bench. She's been remarkably patient with our incompetence. Lirana stepped forward. If I may, Council, human children engage in what they call playground roughhousing. I've reviewed the footage. What human juveniles consider play would hospitalize most adult species. They don't develop adult supervision protocols for this behavior because, to them, it's harmless. Are you saying, Admiral Zyron said slowly, that human children are combat-rated threats? I'm saying human children don't consider themselves threats at all. Neither do human adults. Charlotte Brown genuinely didn't want to hurt anyone. She issued 3 warnings. When Zilax ignored them, she responded with what she considered minimal force. Vexia appeared via hologram. Council, I've calculated the force ratios. Charlotte was operating at approximately 10% of her actual capabilities. Her restrained response still generated enough kinetic energy to qualify as military-grade weapons fire. The Council sat in stunned silence. What do you propose? Admiral Ziron finally asked. Ban humans from all combat sports, Kael'thas said. Not for their protection, for everyone else's. That seems... Do you want to be the one to tell the next human they can participate, Admiral? Knowing that any human athlete would make our champions look like infants? Knowing that one accident could kill dozens? The vote was unanimous. Charlotte was called before the Council. She listened to their explanation, nodded, and said, That's fair. I wasn't trying to join the fighting anyway. I was just cleaning. We understand that now, Kael'thas said carefully. Ms. Brown, we apologize for the incident. Zilax violated your personal space repeatedly, despite clear warnings. Yeah, well, he learned his lesson. Charlotte checked her phone. Am I free to go? I still need to finish my shift, and I'd like to grab dinner before the cafeteria closes. About your shift, Kael'thas said. We're compensating you for the interrupted work time, and perhaps assigning you to facilities where combat athletes don't train. Charlotte grinned. Probably smart. Do you guys have those good protein bars in the commissary? The chocolate ones? We'll make sure you're fully stocked, Ms. Brown. Awesome. Can I go now? 3 days later, the Galactic Sports Commission issued formal guidelines that were distributed to every public venue, military installation, and diplomatic facility across known space. Human interaction protocols, mandatory compliance. Rule 1. Never initiate physical contact with a human without explicit, repeated, enthusiastic permission. What humans consider casual touch operates on force scales that may cause injury to most species. Rule 2. If a human issues a warning of any kind, treat it as an emergency evacuation order. Human warnings are significantly understated relative to actual threat levels. Rule 3. Human casual movements may cause structural damage to standard construction materials. Ensure facilities meet enhanced durability standards before human occupancy. Rule 4. Under no circumstances should humans be challenged to physical contests, competitions, or demonstrations of strength. Human baseline capabilities exceed military-grade augmentation in most species. The Kronos Arena was renamed the Charlotte Brown Incident Memorial Site as a permanent reminder. Zilax, recovering from his injuries, issued a public statement. She warned me 3 times. I thought I knew better. I was wrong. The footage became the most watched sports clip in galactic history, surpassing 3 trillion views within a week. Combat instructors across 200 systems used it as mandatory training material, with the tagline, "Pride is temporary. Listening to humans is survival." Charlotte returned to work the following Monday, assigned to the administrative wing where the closest thing to athletic activity was aggressive typing. Her new alien coworkers treated her with nervous respect, giving her a wide berth whenever she moved through hallways. "Hey, Charlotte," her supervisor asked, voice trembling slightly. "Do you need anything? Special equipment, reinforced tools, personal space requirements?" "Just a decent coffee maker in the break room," Charlotte replied, not looking up from mopping. "The current one makes everything taste like burnt rubber." We'll get that installed immediately." Charlotte finished her section and moved to help another janitor struggling with a heavy equipment cart. No, I've got it," the Trilaxian stammered, backing away. "I'm just trying to help," Charlotte said, confused. "Please, don't help. I mean, thank you, but I can manage." Charlotte shrugged and returned to her work, humming along to music from her earbuds. Later, walking past the combat training facility on her way out, Charlotte heard an instructor lecturing new students. And that is why we never, under any circumstances, challenge humans to physical contests. Watch the footage again, study it, learn from Zilax's mistake. Charlotte chuckled, pulling out her phone to text her sister back on Earth. Weirdest day at work last week. Some guy wouldn't stop poking me during my shift, caused a whole thing. How's the bar treating you? Her sister's response came immediately, broke up 3 fights and carried out a drunk. Corinthian, Tuesday. Charlotte smiled. Just another day in the galaxy.